What's going on, guys? We're back with another NFL Talk video here, and we're going to be doing the Miami Dolphins again here on Kai Samurai or Samurai Kai or whatever my YouTube name is right now, but that's what we're going to be doing. I'd like to take a second and thank you guys for the support on the video I did last week or a couple weeks ago. I haven't been able to do a video because I had a very sore throat and it really hurt for me to talk and even eat and drink, so it was really bad. But I am back now. My voice is still a little bit sore, but it's very much better, and I've been wanting to do this video for a while, so we're just gonna hop right into this. After that, we're gonna start off with the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm gonna give it a W for the Miami Dolphins. Now, the reason I do this is I feel like the Dolphins are gonna come in to Seattle with a lot to prove, and I feel like if they can play a good enough game, they will win it. It's a very bold prediction, but I do have faith in the Miami Dolphins, and I have faith in what I think they can do against good teams, because if you notice with the Dolphins, they lose to a lot of bad teams, yet they beat good teams. And the Seahawks aren't really good at winning week one. You saw it last year, with the St. Louis Rams, now the Los Angeles Rams, but last year in St. Louis, they lost to a mediocre team. Now, the Dolphins obviously are as well a mediocre team, but not as mediocre as the Rams are. So I'm going to give it a win. And then riding that momentum, they're going to come into Foxborough and beat the New England Patriots. Tom Brady will be out. I originally gave this game a loss, and I had us going down 0-2 because the negativity of having to face two amazing teams. But since Tom Brady is no longer going to be the quarterback for the first couple of games, and it'll be Jimmy Garoppolo, or Jimmy Garoppolo if you want to just say his name correctly, I feel like he has had enough opportunities in the NFL to really show himself and prove himself. So I have them winning this game, at least the Miami Dolphins winning this game, riding the momentum of that Seattle Seahawks win, going into Foxborough, and finally getting a win in Foxborough, because we have not done that in forever, it feels like. After that, we're going to go straight into this. We're going to go to the Cleveland Browns. At home, the Dolphins are going to obliterate the Cleveland Browns. I wish I put the score for what I think this game is going to be, but I do not think the Cleveland Browns stand a chance against the Miami Dolphins. They're going to ride momentum off of beating two very good teams, both atop their conferences. You know, the Seahawks top of the NFC, just around there, and the Patriots obviously 1-2 there with the Broncos and them. So I do feel like they're going to come in and obliterate the Browns. The Browns did some sort of minor moves during the offseason. They didn't have a horrible draft, but they didn't have a great one. I still do think they should have stayed at 2 and drafted Wentz, but you got to pick your poison. And they did a smart move by trading down and getting some picks, I will admit, but I feel like they got kind of a little bit screwed over, just a little bit with what they did. But I do have us beating the Browns. Now, coming on a short week, we go into Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football with the Bengals wanting some revenge and beating the Miami Dolphins, taking us down to 3-1 on the season. Last time you recall, the Bengals and the Dolphins playing on Thursday Night Football, Cameron Wake sacked Andy Dalton in the end zone here in Miami, Florida, for a safety in overtime to end the game. It was amazing. I was at the game. It was awesome. That was the last time. So Andy Dalton comes in with some revenge with his weapons, and A.J. Green, Giovanni Bernard, Jeremy Hill. The list goes on and on and on. And you have Pac-Man returning. So they're just going to come out there, and I think the Bengals are just going to beat the Dolphins. I think it's just sort of something that I just think is going to happen. I really think that the Bengals will beat the Dolphins here. So we're going to go from that to the Tennessee Titans game here in Miami as well, I believe. And I think that we're going to beat the Titans. We beat them last year in Dan Campbell's first game as interim head coach in Tennessee. I feel like they still haven't done a lot to really upgrade from what they were last year. They did some things, but I still don't feel like they're going to be able to beat us at all. I feel like Jarvis is going to have a great game just like he did against them in Tennessee. And I feel like Tannehill's going to have a great game as well. I see us going up 4-1 in the season, being atop the AFC East as it currently stands. Then we're going to go into Pittsburgh against the Steelers, and we're going to lose to Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell. I do feel like that defense is also going to be very good. You know, they did pick up Artie Burns as well in the first round, near the bottom of the first round there. But I do feel like the Dolphins don't have a team really that can beat the Steelers right now if Big Ben is healthy, because we're going to have a lot of young players going against a very smart quarterback. Now, you could make the argument with Russell Wilson in week 1 as well, but once again, I said that's a very bold prediction. That's just going off of previous things that have happened in recent years. That's why when I said Andy Dalton, I said Andy Dalton was going to beat them, because we do have a young defense on the corner ends of things, as well as the safety. I mean, you do have Rashad Jones, but that's about it. You have Issa Abdul-Qaddus coming in for free safety. He's talented, but he's young. Your corners, besides Byron Maxwell, all going to be young, not seasoned veterans at all. So that's how it currently stands. Really, your oldest position is going to be defensive line and middle linebacker, which is still young. So I feel like Ben Roethlisberger is going to completely tear up the Dolphins' defense. I don't think we stand a chance really against the Steelers, and I have us losing in that game and going on to a 4-2 record. Then facing the Buffalo Bills. If you remember last year, we did not beat the Buffalo Bills at all, nor did we beat the New York Jets. And then we were 1-1 with the Patriots. I feel like we're going to go and lose again to the Buffalo Bills. I think it's before a bye week. Either this game or the Jets game is before a bye week. And I have us losing to Rex Ryan and the Bills again. I think Rex Ryan has the Dolphins' number, and I think he will for as long as he's the Bills' head coach. So Dolphins will go and lose again to Buffalo. And then the losing streak continues here. We're going to go into New York, or back at Miami, excuse me. This is going to be in Miami. And we're going to lose to the New York Jets, and we'll be 4-4 there. I do think that we'll lose to the Jets again, despite their issues at quarterback. I think they will get Ryan Fitzpatrick re-signed. And either way, I just really feel like we will lose to the Jets again. That's just how I'm going with things as it stands. So we will lose to the Jets again. So we'll be 4-4 now on the season. So at 500 going into a bye week, you're about to play the Chargers, Rams, Niners, Ravens, Cardinals, Jets, then finish with the Bills and the Patriots at the end of the season. So you really have to look at it and evaluate it and see how you feel about your roster currently. We go into the bye week. Everyone's saying, "Oh, Adam Gase, you haven't done really much." I mean, he's 4-4, so that's not a bad thing, considering that he faced the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Bengals, Pittsburgh, the Bills, and the Jets. Finishing 4-4 is not too horrible at the bye week, sitting at 500. So then we go into California, San Diego to be specific, and we beat the Chargers. Last year they had our number. The year before that we had their number. Back and forth. I feel like this will be a more competitive game. We blew them out here. Then the next year, last year, they beat us out, or they blew us out in San Diego. So back-to-back years where both teams just got blown out. I feel like we'll go into San Diego and we'll be able to pull off a very narrow victory, probably on a winning field goal by Andrew Frakes at around maybe the 25-yard line, and kicking a field goal from there to win it. So that's what I'm going with there. And the winning will continue for the Miami Dolphins as we're going to go into Los Angeles and we're going to beat the Rams. Like I said, I feel like the Rams are another team that are very mediocre and not ready yet. Jared Goff, I think he's going to look at that defensive line, and honestly, the Rams' offensive line isn't good. The Dolphins' defensive line, after adding Jason Jones today, you're going to have Cam Wake, Jason Jones, Ndamukong Suh, Deion Jordan is going to come back, obviously, I think. And Deion Jordan, when they put him, what I love is that we're going back to the scheme where Deion Jordan excelled when he was a Miami Dolphin and he wasn't suspended. So I'm really hopeful for Deion Jordan. I think he's going to be really good for us. Comeback player of the year could be, but you have to wait and see for that. Then you have Andre Branch who came. You still have, I can't even remember his name. We picked him last year. I can't remember, but we have another couple good D tackles. I feel like the defensive end position will be perfectly fine for us. I feel like Jared Goff's going to go in there with his not so amazing offensive line, and I think we're just going to obliterate them from that standpoint, which will help our corners a lot, and we'll improve to 2 games above 500. Then we're going to go to San Fran, and we're going to beat the 49ers. 49ers are another team that are very mediocre. I see them being within the top 3 picks next year, as well as the Rams. So both of them, I feel like they're going to be in the top 3 picks next year as well. Maybe top 5, I guess, to be a little safe there. I could still see it being like Browns, Titans, Rams, Niners, and like, I don't know, the probably the Bears or something along those lines, being the top 5 picks next year. And then we're gonna go 3 games above 500 here at 7-4. I feel like we're just gonna win all 3 of our games in Cali. We're going against very mediocre teams. The Chargers, I think, are mediocre. I will say that. They didn't have a good year last year. They did blow us out last year, but they did lose Eric Weddle. You lose some corners, so I do feel like they aren't going to be too amazing. They did pick up Casey Hayward, though, so it's not going to be horrible, but I do think that we'll beat them. I think we're going to beat the Rams, and I think we'll beat the 49ers as well. Then we're going to go to Baltimore, and we're going to lose to the Ravens. And I say this because I feel like we'll be going against 3 easy opponents, and I think the Ravens are going to be coming off a couple wins leading up to this. And I feel like we're just going to lose to the Ravens. We'll be on too much of a high horse. If you've known the Dolphins for years, after they win 3 in a row, 2 in a row, they put themselves on a high horse, and then they get obliterated. So that's what I'm feeling is going to happen against the Baltimore Ravens. I don't see us coming out with a win here. So we'll now be 7-5 going against the Baltimore Ravens, being 2 games above 500 again. Then we will go to Arizona, where we're going to get beat by the Cardinals and go 7-6 now, as the Dolphins' playoffs hopes start to really fall out of their hands. Nothing to do about it. They're really slipping away once again, and Dolphins fans know that this is leading towards looking like it's going to be a very bad year again. After a lot of hope, they feel like it's going to fall to a 7-9 season again. We do lose to the Arizona Cardinals. I don't feel like our team is built to beat the Arizona Cardinals at all. And I do feel like we will lose to the Arizona Cardinals here. So then, we go against the Jets. They beat us 6 weeks previous. But I see us coming out with a win here against the New York Jets, keeping the Miami Dolphins' playoffs hopes alive at 8-6 as a wild card. I have them keeping the Dolphins' playoffs hope very much alive here at 8-6. The Dolphins will finally get out of the average 7-9 season. I think we went 7-9 No, we did really bad last year. I think we went 5-11 or 6-10, one of the two. I'm honestly not too sure because I'm really tired of Miami Dolphins really in certain aspects, but I'm pretty sure it was 5-11, something like that, or 6-10. Something, yeah, 6-10. I don't know why I said 5-11. 6-10 last year. So that should be very interesting for us. 6-10 will win, obviously, a couple more games there. So then we'll be 8-6 going against the Buffalo Bills. I said it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Rex Ryan has our number. The Buffalo Bills will beat us, almost crushing our playoff hopes, making us 8-7, only 1 game above 500. Crushing our playoff hopes almost, depending on how the AFC will break down. But the Bills will have the upper hand on us if there's a tiebreaker in the AFC East. So the Buffalo Bills will beat us. We will drop to 8-7, and we'll go to the game ender. Once again, here at the end of the year, we will face the New England Patriots at home in Miami. And the Miami Dolphins will come away with a win against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I feel like they'll be already suited for a first-round bye. I think they will sit Tom Brady unless there needs to be something for the number 1 seed. I think they'll sit Brady, Garoppolo come out, and I feel like we'll beat them again. It'll be the first time in a long time that the Dolphins will beat the Patriots twice in a regular season. I don't think Brady can win in Miami. He hasn't for, I think, 4 years now. Tannehill's had his number in Miami whenever Tannehill's played against the Patriots. Even in Foxborough, he's had really good games. And against, to just do a breakdown on Tannehill. If you look at Tannehill against really good teams, he has really good stats. But when he plays against really mediocre teams, it's just something that happens. It's the Dolphin effect. You play against good teams and you're all of a sudden really good. When you play against really bad teams, you become really bad. So it's really weird. But that's just the Dolphin effect. And that's what it's been like. So 9-7, and I feel like we will narrowly make it into the playoffs. Hopefully, unless there happens to be a tiebreaker with the Bills, then we will not make it, but we will be the 3rd seed. I have the Jets being the 4th seed, and either the Bills being 3rd or 2nd, or us being 3rd and 2nd, and one of us making playoff hopes. So you see here, the Miami Dolphins' final record will be 9-7. You like the little logo right there? Pretty nice. But it'll be 9-7 as our final record. And that'll be it for the schedule. Nothing really more to explain there. But we're going to go into the season statistics. And this is what I got for you guys here. So, for the season statistics, I have our leading rusher being Jay Ajayi with 1,097 rushing yards, and Kenyon Drake getting 967. A very bold prediction there, once again, for Kenyon Drake to get that many yards in his first year. But I feel like we'll have a very dominant 1-2 punch. We have four first-round offensive linemen and a very good offensive line. If you look at it on paper, I feel very, very confident with that. Our leading passer obviously is going to be Tannehill with 4,109 passing yards. Tannehill has another very productive year statistically, and I feel like the guy who's going to come second is Brandon Doughty with 120 yards. It's just kind of a little joke. I really don't know who will come. We have Logan Thomas, Matt Moore, and him. I feel like Brandon Doughty could win the second position. You just have to see where that goes and if he even makes the team. Our leading receiver will be Jarvis Juice Landry with 1,410 receiving yards. Landry breaks out again in his third year to continue to be the dominant wide receiver that he's been for the past 2 years in the NFL. I think he's better than Odell Beckham. A lot of people agree with me, but some people obviously jump on the hype train. But Landry, I think, is definitely 100% better than Beckham. I think he is going to be a dominant wide receiver in the NFL going into his junior year. So that's something to look forward to. And Devontae Parker going into his sophomore year, I wanted to put him at 1,000 flat, but I decided to just put him at 980. I think Devontae will have another great year in terms of, as you saw last year towards the end of the year, he was very good for us. I feel like he'll be between like 980 and 1,100, somewhere along there. I could easily see us having two 1,000-yard receivers, and I think Devontae Parker could be one of them. For leading tackler, Kiko Alonso is going to come in with 179 tackles, both solo and assist, and his backup is going to be Rashad Jones with 129. Kiko Alonso is going to come back to his Buffalo Bills form. He'll get almost 100 less tackles than his rookie form, but he will come out and be a dominant effect for us at the middle linebacker position right off the bat. And Rashad Jones is going to just keep on being Rashad Jones, man. Just keep on being Rashad Jones. With the most sacks, we have Cameron Wade coming on a breakout year with 14.5 sacks, showing people that Achilles is fine and that contract was worth it. And showing people that they were wrong at the end of the day. Backing it up, I have Mario Williams coming out with 9 sacks, and very productive year for Mario Williams. Most tackles for loss. Now, this was a little bit iffy because I couldn't find the average for a lot of players on the Dolphins for tackles for loss. So I just kind of ballparked it. I went with Ndamukong Suh for 30, Cam Wake for 28, and for the most interceptions, you're looking at this right now, you're thinking I'm crazy. I can already tell. Comments I'd be like, Avian Howard, who the fuck is Avian Howard? Our second round pick, Avian Howard out of Baylor. They're talking about him saying that he's going to be great for us. Dolphins do this every year, but I'm going to bite on the bait. I'm going to give Avian Howard 6 interceptions in his rookie season, starting at the left cornerback position alongside Byron Maxwell. I just think he's going to have a very good year, and I have a lot of faith in him. He fits our scheme. They're calling him an alpha, and I'm just very, very excited to see what he can do, and I cannot wait. So, now we go to second. I have Rashad Jones and Kiko Alonso tying for 4 picks. Simple enough. With the most sacks given up, I have Jamil Douglas giving up 15 sacks as a backup, and Craig Rubrick, I didn't know how to spell his name, and I didn't really feel like looking it up at the time. I have him giving up 12. Backup still not doing great. With the least sacks, this was tough for me. I felt like putting them at tie, but I didn't. But I have Brandon Albert with 3 sacks given up and Tunsil with 4. Now, in reality, I think they'll both give up 1 or 2. But just for the sake of, ballparking it, I did 3 and 4. So that's how we're going to go with there. Our team MVP, it's really hard to see because it's in quote unquote gold. I just did that because, you know, MVP gold, but it's Cameron Wake. Our team MVP is definitely going to be Cam Wake with 14.5 sacks, 28 tackles for loss. I think Cam Wake will be the team MVP. The team comeback player of the year is going to be Mario Williams as he comes back and gets 9 sacks in his first year as a Miami Dolphin. Kiko Alonso just barely trailing behind him. Our team rookie of the year, you'd expect to be Laramie Tunsil, but it's going to be Avian Howard as he racked up 6 interceptions throughout the year. Very, very, very good and productive year for him. And then our surprise player of the year is going to be Issa Abdul Kudus. You hear that name and remember that name, Issa Abdul Kudus. He's going to wear number 24 for the Miami Dolphins. He's going to be our starting free safety. I think Issa Abdul Kudus is going to be maybe a year or two from now in the conversation for one of the best free safeties in the NFL. I will stick by that statement, and I think the Dolphins got a steal with the contract that they gave him. And we're going to have a dominant safety combo of Rashad Jones and Issa Abdul Kudus. And from there, guys, I'm just going to leave it off here. I hope you guys did really enjoy. I don't know how long this has really been. I'll have my guesstimate once I transfer the audio track into iMovie and kind of figure everything out. But I really do hope that you guys liked it. You guys really did like the first video, and I very much am appreciative of that. I hope you guys like this one. If there's anything you would like to see, put it in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get it out for you. I'm hoping to get something started game-wise, but I do think that I just really enjoy talking about the NFL a lot more. And it's really more appealing to me to just sit here in front of the microphone, in front of my computer, and just talk and talk and talk about the NFL, because it's just one of my favorite things to do. So if you do really enjoy this, hit the like button. If you do really like my content, hit the subscribe button. You'll be seeing a lot of this NFL talk videos come from me. And if you have any suggestions, put it in the comment section so I can come and see them and get any of your feedback as needed. As always, this has been Kai Samurai Kai. I will see you guys next time.